to look at some of the Python higher order functions, okay, which are map, filter, and reduce, okay. And we're also going to look at some of the inbuilt function that comes with Python, such as the zip and the enumerate, okay. So now let's take them one by one. So each video is going to explain. I'm going to have like 5 videos explaining each of the inbuilt method and the higher order functions method, okay. So now we have the first one is the map function. So the inbuilt map function takes an argument of a function and an iterable type and applies the function to each element in the given iterable and also return a new object, okay. So the returning of the new object can be, if you give it an array, it's just going to return a new array with that has been that a function has been applied onto it, okay, to each element of the array. Now let's take a critical look at some of the examples that we can use the map method for. So assuming we have an array, we created an array. So creating an array of numbers, we have nums is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, and we define a normal function, okay. So the function takes in an n and squares it, okay. So it will raise to the power 2, okay. So now so let me change this one to power rather. So power n, okay. Then I'll just come down here and I'll just change this one to power, okay, n. Now what this function is going to do is that when we declare this function, we give it a variable n, and then it will apply it will just square raise it to the power of 2, okay. Now we can have a variable over here and we assign it to the map object, okay. So we said the map function takes in a function and an iterable. So here we are passing in our function over here, that is the power n, and then we are giving it the array, okay. So when we come down here and we print the squares, okay, let me uncomment this, okay, and let me run it, we'll see that we have 1, 4, 9, 16, and 25. So each number in this array has been taken and has been raised to the power of 2. So 1 raised to the power of 2 is just going to be 1, and also 2 raised to the power 2 raised to the power 2 is 4, 3 raised to the power 2 is 9, then 4 raised to the power 2 is 16, 25, and so on, okay. Now we can also use the lambda function that we explained in the previous tutorial also to perform the same thing, because we know that after this map function has taken this normal function over here, there is no way we are just going to use this function again. So it will be, Python gives us the lambda function to also make it very simple. So we will declare an anonymous function here that will be just used inside the map function, okay. This function is not available outside this map function. It is an anonymous function that exists inside the map function, okay. So here we define a lambda function that squares each number and pass it as an argument to the map function, and then squares it. So square is going to return so this square, okay, this square 1, okay, the squares is going to return a new object, okay. So now this lambda function is being applied onto this nums array, okay. So now when we uncomment this as well, okay, and we comment this one, we are also going to get the same thing. Now you notice that we used a list over here. Now let me demonstrate it over here by printing the square 1, okay, the square, so that you will see what happens. Now printing the square 1, okay, without giving it to a list object, is going to give us the map object, okay, the memory location where this map exists, okay. So we'll see that we'll have a map object that exists at this location. Now if we have a map object, okay, under normal circumstance, what we do is that we can write a for loop, okay. So for, let's say, for num in the squares, okay, of the squares, square 1, okay, then we print the num, okay. So usually that is what we do, okay, we print the num, okay, and we can have the same thing. So we have 1, 4, 16, 25 as, but we can also use the list, okay, the list function to convert it into a list object, okay, by passing into the list so that we can have this. Now let me get rid of this and we'll move on to the next tutorial. So running it, we have this map took this function, this map object took this function and applied it to each element in this numbers array. Okay, now let's look at another example. We also have this example over here. So we are also taking the same num arrays, and what we are doing is that we want to create a new list that shows true in the list where the number is even. Okay, so here we are saying that true or false. We have the map object here and we are declaring a lambda function. So what you are saying is that our lambda function is an anonymous function that exists inside the map function and cannot be called outside the map function. So it's an anonymous. Okay, so we have our lambda keyword over here and we have the parameter over here. So we have only one parameter, and we are saying that true if the number divided by 2 gives a remainder of 0, else false. Okay, then we are giving it the numbers array. So what it's going to do is that this map object is going to use this lambda function and apply it on this numbers array and return to us a new list. Okay, so now when I comment this yes or no and I run this, we'll see that where the values are even, okay, we see true. So in this case we only see true here and true here. So we only have even and even. So we only have 2 and 4 being even in the list. Now we can also, you were thinking that, oh, maybe can we return a string of, let's say, yes or no? Yes, we can also do that. So let me also uncomment this, okay, and let me comment this. Okay, so now here also we are saying that yes or no. We are giving this map function also an anonymous function to say that you should return yes if the number divided by 2 returns returns a remainder of 0. Otherwise, no. So this lambda function is going to apply this anonymous function onto each element inside this numbers array and also return an output to us. So now when we run this, we see no, yes, no, yes, no. So here 2 it says yes and 4 also says yes. Now similarly, we can also take another example, okay, that we can take a text, okay, of string, so an array of string, saying that, okay, lambda functions are anonymous function. Then we also have another one here saying anonymous function does not have a name, okay, and we are also saying that functions are objects in Python. Okay, now what you are doing is that we just want to use the map function to apply this anonymous function to this text array, okay, and check and return a value, being it true or false, whether we have anonymous the value or the word anonymous in each of the strings or in each of the sentence in the text array. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to use an anonymous function that takes in only one parameter. Okay, and here I'm just returning a tuple because we've discussed about tuple and what tuple does. Okay, so I'm going to return true and that element, okay, that element in the list or that sentence in the list, okay, if anonymous is in this parameter, okay, which is the text, okay, and also false, and I'll print the text, and I'm going to pass in the array that we are going to apply this function on. So the map is going to use this anonymous function and apply it on this text. Okay, so when this test is being run, we see that we have true over here because we have an anonymous function in this sentence, and we have true here, and also we have an anonymous function in this sentence. But we can say that the last one gives us false because there is no word anonymous inside that sentence. Okay, so this is some of the examples that we can use we can use the map objects or the map function to do. Okay, guys, catch you guys in the next tutorial. If you don't understand anything, make sure to leave me a comment in the comment section below, okay, and let's get interactive. All right, guys, see you in the next tutorial where I talk about the filter, and also in the next video where I talk about the reduce. All right, guys, bye.